So we've given you some theory, but I want to give you some opportunities of seeing how things have worked, because you'll start thinking, we could do this. Because traditionally our approach has been, and again I look at the work I did in local authorities, we're very good at saying no. But actually when we think about it, what we want to do is say, actually we just want you to do it somewhere else in a different way.
Excuse me, can I ask a question? These lands are poison, what's that all about?
Oh yeah, well this one's from Ireland, so this was to keep dog walkers out, but for the fear of their dog picking up poison, because poisoning is something that's still used quite more often in Southern Ireland. But yeah, these lands are poisoned for the protection of animals. I just like the irony of that, because we know that poisoning, depending how you do it, can be quite indiscriminate. And then you've got this poor local authority here that's got this problem with chain smoking alcoholic dogs on skateboards, so if you think you've got problems. But actually we want them to, in terms of economic regeneration and supporting farmers and everybody, we want them to come, but to walk their dogs in ways and places that aren't causing problems, because if they have a good experience, they're likely to come back instead of going somewhere else, but also nobody's looking for hassle, whichever way you're on. And we talked about this theory of planned behaviour, so how do we change some of this stuff to change this somewhat negative cycle of, we don't want you on the beach, so we're going to ban you from here, so you push the people who are causing problems somewhere else, which isn't really fair. And one of the things that we know, that actually we say, people are stupid, or, because they don't comply with signage and stuff. And yet we know that often people, if there's signs or leaflets, do question it just as much as you all said you did with driving. There's a speed limit sign, but you choose not to comply with that sometimes. And sometimes people don't know enough, so actually education can help with them. But there's sometimes people who don't believe the science behind it, or some are just distracted. You see them with their headphones on and they're not watching what the dog's doing. You get people, like in some places where we've had people, some rangers have tried to say, there's adders here, so you need to keep your dog on the lead. Where actually the reaction from some of the dog walkers has been, well, actually, because the adders are aggressive, I'm going to give my dog a chance to get away more often, and my dog's more scared of adders, so it's not a problem. So people don't always read information in the way that you want. And we know that people respond differently to landscapes as well. And again, I won't dwell on that, but it's just that actually sometimes people are making very conscious decisions not to comply. It's not because they're stupid. And again, this is one of the reasons why I offer them a positive option rather than just a don't option. That can work a lot better. Because it's all about trying to make it easy for people to do the right thing. Because sometimes when we write notices and stuff, we write them for what we want, when actually if we write them to actually help our audience, which is the dog walker or the holiday maker or whatever it is, it's more effective. Because you imagine this sign, these people are trying to sell sofas. This is a pretty honest bit of advertising. So our sales are slow, please buy this sofa now to boost our profits, thank you. How convincing is that in terms of still the same sofa? Yeah, nice sofa, but it's not, and it's great, and this is very natural to do. Just as much as we would say, actually, we want you to keep your dog on a lead because, rare birds are nesting here because you're really into birds, or actually keep your dog on a lead because my cows are here or my sheep are here or whatever. But actually, if we flip that and actually say, what information do we provide to actually help that person get the experience they want and get what we want too, we start doing it differently. So here's the same sofa, the same people, but we're actually saying, what do you want? So it's actually flipping this thing. Instead of saying no or don't or this is what I want, the comfort you deserve, a price you can afford, indulge yourself on this sofa now. And a good example of this is where this was one local authority that got these bins and they're wanting people to pick up more, and they've got signs about clean up after your dog, and there's a sign on the bin, and they were still getting poo left behind. Any things that you would question about the signage or why that might be happening there, that there's a bin but people are still leaving poo in bags in the car park? Not an easy bin to get through. Thinking about the theory of planned behaviour, about the personal beliefs, what other people are doing. Certainly we know if some people are putting their bags of poo there, other people are more likely to. Or actually the control beliefs is actually, do I have the right information to do the right thing? Any other suggestions? So that could be one of them.
There's 2 slots and I think, I don't know which one to put it in, so they just put it in.
Yeah, don't know which one to put it in. Should I put it in either one? Because there's lots of information here, And we often see signs that say clean up after your dog or be responsible or whatever or pick it up. But actually, are we saying it's okay to use this bin? Because it's not one of the red dog bins, is it? And actually, when there's been some research done where they've asked people, is it okay to put bagged dog poo in normal litter bins? Actually, 2/3 of people say, no, it isn't. We don't know that is. So this weak link in the chain that you can think, yes, I want to pick up after my dog, and the people are doing because they've put the poo in the bags, and they've carried it to somewhere because not all the dogs pooed in that little point. But actually, they just didn't know. And the bizarre thing is, for some of the people, they'll say, oh, yeah, well, actually, we have done that sometimes. So actually, they were doing the right thing, because actually it is okay to put bagged dog poo in any general litter bin. But actually, they're saying, yeah, we don't think we should do it, but we have kind of done it. So they're doing the right thing, but we're making them feel bad about it. Whereas actually, counsellors that are actually saying, yeah, this is okay, do this. And it's something that when you're looking around, it's not the only reason, but actually one of the reasons is people just don't know. Because traditionally people in some areas have seen the red bins and just not known. So actually some councils, when they're specifying their bins, or some are just putting a little sticker on saying, this is okay for bagged dog waste too.